He looked at my dad and he said, "Get a good stroller because your daughter's never going to walk." Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Stephanie and welcome back to another video. I have a migraine. That's how we're starting this. We're going to be talking about something that's a little, it's intense. It's not all that fun, but we'll try to make it fun, you know? We'll try to make that happen. So, as you can tell by the title of this video, I have cerebral palsy. I do. It's been something that I've been living with for the past 16 years. Yeah. Okay, so it's actually been 17 years. If I was diagnosed when I was 2 and I'm 19 now, the fact that I struggled with that is beyond me. I don't know. Okay, carry on. But yes, I have cerebral palsy, and for those of you who don't know what cerebral palsy is, it's a neurological disorder that affects the lobes of your brain. So, cerebral palsy is caused by a lack of oxygen to the brain when you're in your mother's stomach. There's a whole bunch of different causes that cause cerebral palsy. Some people have the umbilical cord wrapped around their neck, and that causes the lack of oxygen. For me, it is not known per se what exactly caused it.
I have some conspiracy theories, but that's not what we're gonna get into in this video. So we're just gonna put that to bed real quick. Yep, just put it to bed. Okay.
So, when I was born, I was 2.4 pounds, and I was 2.5 months early. So I was very high maintenance from the beginning. Sorry, Dad. And when I was born, I had bradycardia, so I had an irregular heartbeat, and I couldn't breathe on my own. So the doctors and the nurses and everyone who was taking care of me had to tickle me to breathe. So that was fun. And it probably explains why I hate being tickled now. Maybe I'm just traumatized. I don't know. So I was in an incubator for the first little while of my life. I was actually born in my hometown where I'm living now, and I was sent to the bigger city to go to a children's hospital where I was taken care of in the critical care unit, which is super high maintenance, sorry. And so from there I had, with the bradycardia and the irregular heartbeat and the breathing issues, they decided that they were going to try to do open heart surgery. And so, as they were... I said "and so" like 400 times, and for that, I'm so sorry. Okay, carry on. Rolling me down the hallway to go get the open heart surgery, my body decided to fix itself. Yes, I'm super high maintenance, dramatic. It all makes sense now. Like, it's been from the beginning. Like, everyone in my life's had to deal with it. Like, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. And so with that all happening, and then my body fixed itself, after a while I got to go home. And then
Really? Can you not right now? I'm trying to film. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, no, we have to go shut that door. 1 second.
Let's go home for a while, and I'm just giving you a whole bunch of backstory on what caused my cerebral palsy and my life leading up to it, and why I am the way I am now. So then I got to go home. Around 1.5 to my family realized that I wasn't hitting the correct milestones to develop as a young child, so they took me into the doctor, and what we heard there was, if we thought all the stuff that had happened beforehand was hard, that was a walk in the park compared to what my life is going to turn into after this doctor's appointment. So they took me in to see the doctor, and the doctor checked me out, and he looked at my dad and he said, get a good stroller because your daughter's never going to walk. And while all of this was going on, my dad was a newly single parent. My mom had just chosen to leave our family to go off and do drugs, and so my dad had to take care of me and my older brother Nick, who was 3.5 at the time. I was being diagnosed with cerebral palsy. I was being told I was never gonna walk, and that is when the kaleidoscope of all these things started happening. And it's something that I'm very, 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 very proud to say that my dad is my dad, because that is a hard situation to be in. That is something where your whole world gets turned upside down, and your one child is getting told that she's going to be wheelchair bound for the rest of her life, and your other child deserves a life where they're happy and they're having all the fun they can and they're making all these good memories and all of that. So that was difficult, and we definitely leaned on my family a lot for support since my dad worked in the oil field. So he had to take care of me, but at the same time it was a family effort. I stayed at my auntie's and my grandma's a lot, and I basically grew up with my cousins and my older brother because my dad had to work all the time and I needed care and all of that stuff. So once I was diagnosed with that, we started to go through the process of what is there I can do to help her, and then I got my first surgery. So it was my broomstick cast surgery, which I don't know how to explain it properly in medical terms, but how it's always been explained to me is the doctors cut open the back of my heels, moved some ligaments, and my foot would hold itself straight, because when I would walk with my feet turned inward. So I was very off balance, all of that stuff. So they cut open the back of my heels and moved some ligaments so my foot would hold itself straight. And for the next 6 weeks, I was in casts with my legs spread wide open, a wedge in between them, and sticks holding my legs in place. So I was carried around like that for a long time, like 6 weeks. R.I.P. Dad, like, sorry about it. We started the physio and all of that, and then we started with rounds of Botox to relax the muscles in my legs, because what cerebral palsy is what I have is spastic diaplegic cerebral palsy. So the muscles in my legs tighten and they don't loosen themselves, so I have to stretch them, and it's very difficult to walk. A lot of kids with cerebral palsy, and what I was supposed to have is I was never supposed to be able to walk, I was never supposed to be able to drive, ride a bike, all that fun stuff. And so a lot of kids who have cerebral palsy have it a lot worse than I do, and I'm very, very grateful for the life I live and the opportunities I've been given to not only live a life that's pain-free, but I have free mobility as well. So I'm very, very blessed in that regard. But once we did the Botox, and then when I turned 5, we made the decision for me to have a rhizotomy. And when I had this procedure done, it was still rather experimental. There had only been a handful done in Alberta, but now it's more common and it's more of a standard procedure if you're eligible to receive it. And they go to the base of your spine and they cut any problematic nerves. So how my dad explains it is like hook up little booster cables to the base of my spine, and whatever twitches, they cut it. So I just have a whole bunch of severed nerve endings at the base of my spine. And without that surgery, I don't think that I would be where I am right now. And that surgery was one of the hardest decisions that my dad ever had to make. And I remember vividly all these of us being in the physio room, or being with my physiotherapist, or being with my surgeon or my team, and just saying, asking all these questions, like, what's it gonna mean? Like, what happens if it goes wrong? Like, what's gonna happen if this isn't what it could be? And this surgery is something that could have left me completely paralyzed from the, like, I could have been paralyzed. Like, what? And here I am, being high maintenance as ever, not paralyzed, so I'm very blessed. But with that surgery, it was hard. It was, because keep in mind that when I turned 5, that the hospital and this life I was living was my normal. I didn't know anything better. My family didn't treat me any different. My cousins, like, I still played with the kids. Like, I didn't even realize that, like, this wasn't something that normal kids did. Like, I thought everyone went to the doctor every 5 minutes, and everybody had all these people, like, talking to their parents, and everybody had, like, special sessions where you were taught how to write, and you were taught how to walk, and you were taught how to speak. Like, I thought that everybody's life was like that, and it wasn't. Like, growing up, I realized once I got to kindergarten that not everybody grew up in those situations and had those, and had to choose which hand to write with, and had to trace things. And I didn't realize that I was different, because my family had loved me and treated me so well that I felt completely normal. Like, I felt like anyone else in my family, which I'm super thankful that I grew up in that sense, and not in the sense of there's something wrong with you and pity yourself and feel bad and, oh my god, your life's so hard, because that's not how I was taught to live, and that's not how I saw myself, because that's my family and my dad and my brother and everyone around me refused to see me as anything other than normal. And that is probably what gave me the strength and determination to get all through everything that I went through, and we'll get into that. But to get through all that is something that I don't think I would have been able to do if I was told that I was different and that my life was hard and that I was like, not everyone's life was like this and all of that. So growing up, I was very sheltered in the sense of everyone was like this. Everyone had to wear these on their legs. Like, it was normal. This is normal, you know? And it was my normal, but it's not everyone else's normal. And so kind of when I talk about it, people are like, that happened to you? And I'm like, yeah, it did. Like, it's not a big deal to me as it is to everyone that I talk about it going forward in my young life. So with that being said, let's get back to the rhizotomy. So the surgery could have left me paralyzed. I remember the decisions going up to it. It was one of the hardest decisions my dad had ever had to make, because it could have been something that sent me 400,000 steps backwards, or it could have catapulted me so far forward that I wouldn't have to worry about a lot of the things that I was worrying about at the time. Well, I wasn't, but my family was, because I was kind of oblivious. But so moving forward with that, we got the surgery and the recovery time was long. It was painful. It was a lot of, Dad, can we just go get Slurpees? And I'm like ridden in my hospital bed. Or, Dad, like, I just want a burger. And like, no, Stephanie, you can't eat that. Like, it was in that moment that I kind of started to realize that my life was a little bit different, because I couldn't do all of the things that I was used to doing for 2 to 3 months. So from when I was recovering after my surgery, I was supposed to be walking in 2 weeks, and I was walking in 2 days, because as I was saying, this is something that's completely normal to me now. Learning how to walk again after surgery, learning how to deal with the pain, learning that you just gotta get up and do it. You just gotta deal with it, you know? So, and I don't like to sit still. I don't like to be bored. I don't like to be in one place at a time for a long period of time. And I don't like being told what I can and can't do. And so I remember I was just like, Dad, I just want to get up. Grandma, I just want to get up. Can I please just get up? Like, being so young and being 5 years old and having to deal with this and say, like, I don't want you to help me go to the bathroom. Like, I want to be able to do that on my own. Like, I can do it on my own. And so it got to the point where my dad was like, all right, like, we're doing it. Get up. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, they said I'm not supposed to. So, like, I don't know what you're joking, right? Like, I'm not doing this right now. And he was like, no, get up. And I was like, all right. And the nurse came in and she was like, what are you doing? And my dad was like, she's just got to do it. Like, she's not going to sit here forever. Like, we're doing this and we're doing this now. And so, learning how to walk again, I vividly remember how painful it was. And I remember the hallway, and I remember the crying and all of the pain that went into something that a lot of people take for granted. And I just remember, like, it was more painful for me, but it broke my dad's heart. It broke my grandma's heart. And I didn't want to be seen as weak. So once I start something, I'm gonna keep going. And so I just did it, and I just walked, and I just dealt with the pain, and we got through it. And that is one of the moments in my life that I'm most proud of, because that was a moment where I just wanted to fucking give up. I just wanted to go lay back down and become a vegetable and get in a wheelchair, and that was it. But I couldn't, because we don't take no for an answer in this family. So after that, I got to go home, and we dealt with the cerebral palsy with physio and doctor's appointments and trips to Calgary every 3 months, and all these people telling me these things, but I couldn't go to a normal doctor even if I had a cold, because as soon as they heard cerebral palsy, they wouldn't know how to help me. And so just like even the simple things of just having a cold or having the flu, like, it was a bigger ordeal because everyone made the cerebral palsy something bigger than it had to be. And so with all this happening, going forward until the time I had my last procedure when I was 12 or 13. So going up from me being 2 to me being 13, I had around 26 procedures to fix my legs and to help me walk properly and all of that. So, and meanwhile, going to CP every day and having nannies to help me with my home program and having my family treat me exactly how I deserve to be treated and having people love me and support me and going to school and dealing with all these insecurities and all of this, like, I still lived a normal life. I still went to normal school. I still went to gym class. I still had kids make fun of me. I still was the last person to be picked. Like, I still lived a normal life. And for that being said, like, I didn't judge people for judging me, because people only judge you for things that they don't understand. And so I didn't want to look at another 8-year-old and say, hey, why are you being mean to me? I'm normal, when to them I'm not normal, and they don't understand why I have plastic things on my legs and why I'm getting taken out of class every couple hours to do stretching or to do speech therapy or anything like that. So they didn't understand, and so I didn't want to judge them for not understanding. I was kind of just like, girl, like, I get it, it's weird, like, I'm weird, alright? And looking back at it now, like, it sucked and it hurt my feelings, and I didn't want to go to school and I cried every night and I was like, I just want to be normal, I just want to be normal, I just want to be normal. But this is my normal, and there's nothing wrong with being different because everybody has a different normal. And so up until the time I was 12 and I was dealing with all this, all my friends treated me exactly the same, and they treated me like a normal person, and I'm so grateful for that because there's a lot of people that didn't. And so the people that were closest to me, even the people that are close to me now, they still don't treat me any differently because I have this or because this is my life. Like, they're just like, oh yeah, like, that's just another thing. Like, it's just like I have a pimple on my face. Like, it's that normal, you know? And so going forward with that, with all the surgeries and all the scars, of course there's going to be questions. And from the time I hit puberty, which was around 11 to 14, I was kind of just in this awkward phase of like, oh my god, this is so hard, because it's harder for people with cerebral palsy to go through the normal milestones of life. And the anxiety is amplified, and the depression's amplified, and the need for how I grew up to be perfect because there was always something that needed to be fixed, or there was always something else that needed to be done in order to help me. I had this weird complex in my mind of I'm not good enough, and I'm not good enough, and it was just amplified because there was always something about me that needed to be fixed. And going through that, it triggered a lot of anxiety, it triggered a lot of depression. I'm very, 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 very aware of how I'm feeling in every moment because it's amplified for me. And that's not to diminish anyone else's depression or anxiety, but it's just, I have so much anxiety because there was always something that needed to be fixed. There was always something was wrong with me. There was always something that could go wrong. Like, I'm living my life in fear of things that are going wrong, or at least I was. And then I got to high school and things kind of changed for me because I was no longer the girl with the disability because no one could tell. No one knew. I stopped wearing these when I was 13 because I was stubborn and I didn't want people to stare at my legs anymore because, like, they're chunky, they're not cute. I just wanted to wear skirts and not feel insecure about it, okay? Like, let me live my life. And so once I got to high school, it was all a little different because I wasn't the girl with cerebral palsy anymore. I was just Steph, and that was enough. And that was worthy of everyone's love and kindness and attention and all of this. And I started to live a normal life. And of course people noticed because in grade 10 you have to do gym class, and I wasn't the best at gym class, and I had just gotten in my last round of Botox in my legs, and I just had my muscles relaxed, and like, it's just something that it was normal for me, but other people didn't understand it. But kind of when you're at that age in like high school, people don't really ask questions, and I was in a really big school, so people didn't really care. And if they were talking about me, I didn't hear it. I didn't want to know. I was just like, whatever. Like, I had hair like to here. I was like awkward in other ways, and my cerebral palsy wasn't something that was the center focus because I was just not very confident in every other aspect of my life, and I kind of live my life in the way of I forget that I have cerebral palsy because my quality of life is so high because we worked so hard, and I am so blessed, and I'm so lucky that I get to say that sometimes I forget that I even have it. And the fact that these braces can stay in the back of my closet and they don't affect me, and I can go to the bar and dance in the box, and I can go to the lake and go swimming, and I can go kneeboarding, and I can go wakeboarding, and I can do all of the things that I want to do. Like, I go to the gym every day. I'm able to be active on my own. I can bathe myself. I can talk for myself. I'm going to college. I can drive a car. Like, these are things that I was told that I was never, ever, 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 ever going to have the opportunity to learn and to do and to love. And just like even going to school, like, I struggle with school in a different way because I'm really, really good at English and social, but I struggle in math and science because that part of my brain is less developed than the other parts. And I'm very articulate, and I'm very smart, and I can talk for myself. But I can't imagine a life where that would be taken away from me, because it's all I've ever known, is being able to be the sassy girl in the corner that's gonna tell you to shut up if she wants to, you know? Like, if I didn't have that opportunity, I would be a completely different person, and I'm totally aware of that, and I'm so grateful every day for the opportunities that I've been given to not only live my best life, but to help other people learn that it's okay to not feel your best all the time. I don't feel 100% all the time, like, fuck no. And I have insecurities that are rooted from my cerebral palsy, that are rooted from growing up being told that something has to be changed. From 12 to about 15, I had an undiagnosed eating disorder, and I was starving myself because I needed control, and I needed to feel perfect, and I didn't feel skinny enough, and I didn't feel like, because when something always needs to be fixed, your life feels weird when it's not, because you're like, okay, everything's fine now, I must be doing something wrong. I was doing so much then, I was so strong then, I was so determined then, how am I gonna live up to who I was when I was 6 years old? And that's terrifying. But it's one of these things that I've kind of had to learn, that I'm not who I was then, but I'm still that I'm still the same strong girl that went through all of that. But now I'm the same strong girl that gets to carry that with her every day, and gets to help other people, and gets to talk about it, and gets to create a YouTube channel about it, and create videos where she can help other people understand what it's like to be different in a different way, because everybody is different, and everybody is beautiful, and everybody is strong. And everybody's life, I've always said it, everybody's life is no harder than anyone else's, because we are all going through our same trials and tribulations. We are all living a life where we have shit that we have to go through every day that no one else is gonna understand, and no one else knows what's going on. And cerebral palsy is my thing. It's not even just the physical thing. I'm over that. I've dealt with the physical aspects of cerebral palsy, but the mental aspects of everything that has led me to be now is something that I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life. And learning the strength and the determination from my dad and my brother and my family, and bringing us all together, and seeing what anything can do to bring people together, and watching people work together to ensure that I get a quality of life that I am so blessed to have. And watching my family treat me as if I'm completely normal, because I am. And there's people out there that told me I wouldn't be. And there's people who believed in me when no one else believed in me. Because I was written off from the start. I was told that nothing good was going to come for me in a physical sense. Like, bitch, please. No, we are not. I am not the girl to be written off. Alright, so I am so grateful that I have the opportunity to say that I'm not the girl to get written off. That I'm the girl that went through all that and is still here, and is able to drive a car, and is able to do whatever she wants, is able to have a family, like, is able to go to college and think for myself and create a future for myself, when someone told me and told my family that my future was in a wheelchair. And it's not. Because through this journey and through my past, I have learned so much about myself that I wouldn't have learned if I would have lived an easy life. And I wouldn't have it any other way. If I didn't go through this, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't be able to film this video that could potentially help other people who are going through this. I couldn't talk about it and tell people and show people that it's okay to speak your truth. It's okay to have other things going on. It's okay to not feel okay. But it's okay to not let your past control your life. It can be a part of you. It can be a reason that you are the way you are. But it is not you, and you are not your past. And if I was my past, I probably wouldn't even have made it past grade 3. So going through that, if I let everyone's words decide where I was gonna go with my life, I wouldn't be living a life that I'm so proud of. I wouldn't be taking control of my own narrative. I wouldn't be taking care of my body. I wouldn't be living and loving and learning like everyone else. And the fact that I get to do those things, that's pretty fucking cool. So, if you have cerebral palsy and you are dealing with this, I am so proud of you, because it's not an easy thing to deal with. It is not an easy thing to overcome. And it might take you your whole life to get to a state of mind where you're okay with the cards you've been dealt. But just know that your strength is your greatest power, and your mind is so much stronger than anyone else's words. Because words mean nothing if there's no action behind them. And my dad could have made that action be, okay, let's order her the next wheelchair, like, let's make it pink and have sparkles on it. But his action was, no, we're not taking that answer. She is going to live a life that she's so proud of. And for that, I want to say thank you, Dad, because without you, you say this all the time, that it was me, and it was me that did everything, and it's my strength, that I would be nowhere where I am today without you, and without my family, and without Nick, and without Liam, and without McKay and Kyle, and Uncle Rod and Auntie Cam. I wouldn't be anywhere without you, and Grandma, and everyone who helped me. So thank you so much for teaching me to never take no for an answer, and to get what you want by doing things about it. And to my family, I love you so much, and thank you so much for not letting me be a whiny bitch and treating me exactly like I deserve to be treated. And to everyone on my team and my doctor, Dr. Kiefer, and everyone who helped me get to this positive state of mind, Miss Mara, everyone, thank you so freaking much. You are so, so, so heaven sent, and without you, I'd probably be a really whiny girl. So this is my favorite part. Hi, people who told me that I can't do shit with my life. Hi, people who told me that I was never gonna walk, that this surgery wasn't gonna work, that I was weird, that I was different. Yeah, I am weird, I am different, but guess what? I'm walking, and I'm living my best life. So for that, I told you so. And I'm kind of grateful that you said that about me, because now I get to talk about it. And I get to feel like a boss-ass bitch, so that's pretty cool. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that if anything, you just took this message and said, people's words don't matter if you're willing to work for what you want. And you can be the boss-ass person that you are destined to be, regardless of any obstacle that life throws at you. So thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. If you liked it, please subscribe, hit the like button, and comment down below any of your struggles, any of your stories, all of that fun stuff, because we like to talk about positivity and strength around here. And once again, if you like this stuff and you want to see my next video, just turn the post notification bell on and we should be good to go. Alright, bye guys, I love you.